Welcome, welcome. I am Dr. Angelika Christie, your host of the show, Your Radiant Life After 45. So, this show is all about women of a certain age, how to become healthy, happy, and wealthy. I show you how to design and enjoy your most radiant life in the second half of your life. So, with over 25 years of professional experience as an ND, specializing really in women's wellness, also in lifestyle, and I'm a relationship coach. Together with my vast personal experience, I give you all of me. And if this sounds good to you, be my guest here every week on every Saturday at this time. So let's begin. So I welcome everybody who is live with me today. And as you can see, I'm not in my normal environment. I'm traveling, and I come to you today from South Carolina from my hotel room. So, but when you make a commitment to something, then no matter what situation you're in, you just do what you promise to do. And so bear with me if my surroundings and light is not perfect. So what I'm going to share with you today covers the most important areas that will give you the tools to optimize your health starting today. I will share with you about new discoveries regarding our genes and how they really affect our health. I will give you an easy to remember acronym that covers the most important areas for optimizing your health. And we will talk about live food and energy. And if we still have time, I will share with you how to charge your food with your positive thoughts. And it really, really works. So next Saturday, then we will continue because there is so much more to it. That Saturday after that, I will talk to you about how to breathe for health, and then also introduce some new concepts that may be a little challenging for you, but they are amazing. And nothing is standing still. We develop, and new things become more scientifically proven that we just took for granted because we were told it was so. And because I'm also a nutritionist, there is so much that I learned that is absolutely not true. It wasn't true when I learned it, but we didn't know it then. We know that it's not true anymore today. And I just give you one little tip, that fat makes you fat. No, it's not true. Sugar makes you fat. But anyway, so it's amazing when we believe something, how it just spreads, and the masses then adapt to it, and the food stores adapt to it. I never forget when I went into the food store over and over again and say, what happened to the full fat yogurt? What happened to the full fat sour cream? All these full fats were now no fat or reduced fat. Milk, no fat, reduced fat. And we have evidence that all of this did not make Americans healthier, but sicker. Okay, so this is just a little bit out of what I want to share with you today, but this is really what is going on. So first of all, let me make a statement. And this is: absence of disease is not health. Do you agree? So what then is health? I believe that a healthy person inhabits a body that radiates energy, that is flexible and lean, and with the correct amount of fat and muscle tissue. And a healthy person has a clear mind and a positive attitude, and does not feel like a victim, but takes charge of his or her life and adapts easily to change. You can see how if somebody is healthy, they usually are not stuck somewhere. They are adaptable. And this is really how we survived. We needed to be adaptable because otherwise we would not have made it. So let me just ask you, do you feel well? Do you have surplus energy? Are you spirited? Are you adventurous? And really feel connected to your body? And do you understand what your body communicates with you? Do you understand how unique your body actually is? Because it is not a copy of anything. It is your original, one of a kind vehicle to experience this life. Because I don't even want to ask this, are you in the driver's seat? I hope you are, because this is the only seat you have in your body. You are in the driver's seat. You are, and nobody else can really do anything for you. When it comes to your body, your health, it is totally up to you. Yes, sometimes we need advice from science and from somebody who we trust, a holistic healer. Or we do have health. I mean, we do have help, but our health is really 100% connected to what we do or not do, or who we believe, and what we feed our bodies, not just in way of food, but in way of our thoughts, our feelings, everything. And nobody can stop you from making you feel good, or create your food choices, right? It's really all up to you. Well, at least after your childhood, because at that time, I don't think we were all that empowered to make our own choices. And science has shown us then that when you put a variety of food in front of very young children that have not been corrupted yet, by having been shown that in all these colorful cereals or so that they have already been corrupted, a child that has not been influenced in that way will pick the food that his or her little body wants and is good at that time. So we mostly pick what has been cleverly advertised. Do you agree? So, but all that we consumed was a harvest from a place where our ancestors lived. I mean, this was the original way of how we ate before we had food stores and bought our food. We usually had to hunt for it, or gather it, or look for it. And our bodies needed to be strong for survival, from being exposed to nature, to the harsh and challenging situations in nature. We usually, all the way hundreds of thousands of years ago, we did not have houses, and the shelter we had to build ourselves. So today our food sources are far off from what we used to be eating tens of thousands or 100,000 years ago. But here is the thing. Even though your body is very adaptive, its functions are still ancient. How our bodies were created is not a modern thing. And there is so much to say about this, but we don't have this time today. And I will talk about health and food and everything concerning your health, physical health, so much more in some upcoming episodes. So let me just say that unless you become intrinsically connected to your body, which includes understanding how your body communicates with you, your health cannot be optimized. Let's have a chat about genes. Most people believe that their genes dictate whether they will suffer from this or the other, or another disease, or whether they die early or live long. Some people even believe that because their parents died young, that they will maybe have that same verdict, that they will die young as well. But you see, genes have more influences on your skin, your eyes, your hair, everything external, rather than whether you get, for example, cancer because it runs in your family. Science has proven, modern science has proven, and just lately, and one of the forerunners is Dr. Bruce Lipton. If you know of him and his epigenetic studies, um, you understand that your genes do not dictate, are not a verdict for how your health will go. Yes, there are some gene impressions, but they are only on and off. Like science has proven, like Dr. Bruce Lipton said, that the environment rather than your genes are responsible for your health or for disease. And this is what Dr. Bruce Lipton calls, as I already said, epigenetics. Epi, which means beyond genetics or above. I think it actually means above genetics. Now, the environment is not only an external condition like clean air or clean water, but most of all, it is your state of mind, your thoughts, which trigger your feelings and create the environment and actually trigger the chemistry in your body. Every thought you have, every emotion you feel creates some kind of chemistry in your body. Did you know this? I mean, this was something that I didn't even know until I actually, learned about it. And there is a wonderful book, I think it comes from Japan, that shows how the emotions affect water, even to a point where you can speak or have a thought while holding a glass of water in your hand. And while you do this, the molecules in the water actually change according to your thoughts. It's fascinating. And you know what our body is made of, It's made mostly of water. So why have negative thoughts, negative influences on our body? Why is this so? Because also, apart from the molecules, your body believes everything you think, you feel, or you actually say. That can be scary on one hand, but it can also be so empowering because you actually have the power to influence your physical body and the chemistry of your body by what you think, what you say, and what you feel. Let me share something with you. It's a little story, and it was one of the most terrifying moments in my life. I never forget that morning. It was 2012. After 4 days I was at a conference in New York City with Louise Hay at the Writers and Presenters event. I felt not inspired. I mean, I love her. She is amazing. This was an amazing conference. There were thousands of people there. And I wanted to be there to really be inspired to become a better presenter and a writer. And I was so full of hope. So at the end of the last day, even though I witnessed such heroic brilliance on stage at the conference, all these amazing women who conquered either a horrific disease or came from nothing and now have everything, this was so inspiring. And yet I felt my brain heating up with internal dialogue like, nobody but myself was really being so desperate all of a sudden, frantically searching for a situation in my life that would make me worth telling a story on stage, like from something in my life from devastation to triumph, and not finding anything like it in my mind at that moment. That should have made me feel actually great, right? So I didn't have these terrible happenings in my life. But it actually did the opposite for me. I got this sinking feeling in my heart and my stomach. It wiped out any inspiration and self-confidence because I did not have any heroic story to tell. And I never forget that last night in my hotel room. I drowned myself in pity. And then I argued with God that if I had a life-threatening illness or disease, I would be better off. I would be better off to wow people and also to maybe get recognized. I resolved in my mind that obviously I did not have what it takes to be a successful speaker or inspire other women with my journey from pitfall to triumph. So I resigned myself to letting go of my vision and commitment to show women how to prosper on purpose so they can become their magnificent and unapologetic self. That night, I was so restless, and not just because I actually drank 2 or 3 glasses of red wine. I needed to drown something. Of course, I didn't need to, but that's what I did. And I emptied a whole bag of chips. And even after my dinner, I still added that. So I made some very unhealthy choices. But I made it to the morning with a resolution that just go out in the city, enjoy myself, because I don't really have what it takes to be an inspiration, an inspiring presenter or speaker. And the moment I was ready to leave my hotel room, almost ready to reach for the door, I felt as if lightning struck the right side of my brain. In a flash, my right arm dangled like soft putty, no feelings in my arm other than that my entire arm would just drop out of the socket of my shoulder onto the floor. I had a stroke. Within seconds, I heard myself scream, no, I will do it, I promise I will do it. Something in me knew instantly that I was giving a choice at that moment to either give up and maybe die or fulfill my promise and the purpose for which I was still alive. You may have gotten or will get a wake-up call, a moment in your life where you have to make a choice. No excuses anymore. It can be drastic or subtle, but let me tell you, it will come. And what happened to me there, because I'm also a Reiki master and I know about energy, I knew that I brought this on myself because I called for it, right? I called out to God saying, well, I may as well, if you could give me something that is maybe life-threatening, I would be better off. You see how quickly things can happen? You better don't do that. So I immediately pulled all of my energy from above through my body into my right arm. And anyway, I not only survived it, but I suffered later on a little bit from it because every stroke, even if it's a mini stroke, leaves some kind of damage. But I really got a wake-up call, you know. And so does everybody at some time in their life, or many times. We often forget how powerful our thoughts and emotions can alter our health, or even affect a disease or bring about a disease. I say affect because it works both ways. In other words, our thoughts and emotions can either create the very disease we fear, or heal a condition and bring back equilibrium. Equilibrium means the state of health and balance that your body will always try to create. And if it has been lost, it will do everything it can if you allow it, if you give it the right environment to bring that equilibrium back. So the stress hormones, the adrenaline, our whole body reacts to an immediate thought and feeling in a flash, in the split of a second. And because whatever you think becomes reality for your body. But how often do we go in the future and imagine something and think that the imagination is great, but what it does to our body can be really negative. It's just horrendous, and becoming aware of it, you need to stop it. And you can stop it. When you feel yourself going into the future with an angst or a fear or a total anxiety about something, you have to stop yourself. And it's a good thing to actually say, stop, 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 say it 3 times, and then replace it with something positive. So something else I want to share with you. Can you understand that even the best nutrition will not create optimum health if you allow any negative mental and emotional thoughts to be added to the digestion of your food? Because, as I have just shared with you, it creates the chemistry in your body system. And if you're visual, you can imagine the chaos that it creates in your body, right? Just visualize and remember, because this comes back to what is food? What does your body need? Your body needs live food. And only live food, which means with the enzymes intact, can sustain and build new and healthy cells. So I have the saying, and I must have gotten it from somewhere, and you probably have heard it from somewhere before. If God did not make it, do not eat it. And if you must eat prepared food from the shelves, look out for added chemicals. If you cannot pronounce what is added, definitely don't eat it. Okay, so if you cannot pronounce it, I am absolutely sure that that it is a chemical, something that does not come from nature. And there is so much now that is said about diets. We live in a time today where it becomes almost a new fad. All of a sudden, and I mean, some good things happened, definitely. The paleo diet, or the diet where keto diet, and even the newest, and probably it's not all that new, but that I came across, is the carnivore diet, which really means to leave out even vegetables and salads and fruits and only have animal product. I know that is very, very controversial, even though, and I have studied a lot of scientific writings and papers about that, even though a lot of people who have diseases, especially what are the rheumatoid arthritis, I read about that, and autoimmune diseases, especially autoimmune diseases, were healed with that kind of diet, which means that so what is really the most, the thing that creates disease? From irritation to inflammation, and then it creates some kind of disease, depending where it comes into your body, or what organ or what part of your body it latches onto. So when it comes to the carnivore diet, what it really is it's so ancient. It's really something that our bodies know. Our bodies know it because 100,000 years ago, there was no farming, there were no vegetables, and fruits only if you lived in an area where that particular fruit maybe was available, but only at a very specific time of the year. So we didn't have fruit and vegetables and salads every day. And something else I found very curious and very important to understand, that every animal, of course, has a defense system of either running away or or defending itself in some way. And of course, plants have that as well. That's why you need to know what plant is good for you. And a lot of the farming, what it has created, because of making it more bountiful, and of course the depletion of our soil, is they have added all kinds of things to make it look better, to make it last longer, and the actual plants, even by themselves, have their own defense system, and that can be toxic to our body. There are some people who do very well on vegetables and salads and others not so much. So I am totally open, even though I'm a nutritionist, I am totally open to the possibility of a very healthy diet that consists of 70% fat and 25% protein, and maybe only 5% fruit or a complex carbohydrate. So that means no single or simple carbohydrates, nothing starchy, no sugars, unless it comes from a fruit. And so we will talk a little bit more about it. And I always like to try out something on myself before to really understand it. So I did. I was on a carnivore diet for about 6 weeks. And I think I will go back to it. And do you know what happened? The pains in my body, a lot of the pains in my joints, and my digestive problems. I needed to take digestive capsules and and probiotics and prebiotics and probiotics to digest all of the vegetables and the salads that I ate. Once, after only 1 week on the carnivore diet, everything calmed down. My digestion became perfect. The pain in my body subsided. I was so amazed. But since I am kind of a gourmet cook, I love to cook. It was really, really tough. And what to be honest, and what I did not give up was my glass of red wine in the evening. And of course, that went very well with the steaks or with the animal products I had. I did not, so I should have really, to be 100% correct and strict, I should have let that go as well. And I may go into another test of letting all of it go and only have animal products. Of course, that includes fish. And the best fish, of course, is fatty fish. And why fat? Because our ancestors, our body loves fat. Our brain needs fat. But anyway, there is so much more, and we speak so much more about it. So please come back next Saturday, where we go much deeper into how you're breathing, and so many things that affect how to optimize your health. So I enjoyed having you here with me today. Thank you for spending your precious time with me. But if you find I shared with you today some valuable tips, mark your calendar for next week, same day, same time. I can't wait to show you so much more that will give you the tools to live your most radiant life after 45. And you can always contact me for any questions you may have. Contact me at my name, Angelika, at angelikachristie.com. Go to my website, but come here again, okay? This is all for today, and I see you next week. All of my love to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh.